CMHC released May's housing starts, and predictably for this government, the outlook is not good. In Belleville, starts are down over 50 points, and in Toronto, nearly 60%. This minister's staggering ignorance of the plight of everyday Canadians is not surprising when you remember that he's not only stuck up in his ivory tower here in Ottawa, but sitting on a massive $10 million real estate portfolio.
Shame.
Mr. Speaker, why is this housing minister telling young Canadians that home prices don't need to go down? Is he unable or unwilling?
Yeah,
the Honourable Minister of Housing and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On this side of the House, we are well aware of the challenges Canadians have with housing affordability. That's why they elected us to represent them and drive the pace of housing construction in Canada. That's what we will do. That's what we will deliver. We've already delivered on the GST break for first-time home buyers. We're going to take it farther and faster. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Hastings, Lennox and Addington.
Tell that to the young Canadians that cannot afford a home, Mr. Speaker. For a decade, this Liberal government has continuously failed to address housing crisis with solutions. To add insult to injury, they've appointed a minister who has a significant interest in seeing housing prices soaring sky high. Yep. Mr. Speaker, this housing minister is actually part of the problem. Mr. Speaker, how can Canadians actually trust a government that cannot lower housing costs and a minister who has personal interest in keeping prices high and young Canadians in the basement?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Sport.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians remember when Pierre Poilievre stood in front of a woman's house, a Canadian women's house in Niagara Falls and called it a shack. I remember when Pierre Poilievre stood in this house and called the co-op where I grew up Soviet-style housing. Now, if that wasn't enough, Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives are stigmatizing modern, modular, affordable housing as shipping containers. Mr. Speaker, these Conservatives have voted against every single measure to support lower-income families to be able to access affordable housing. And, Mr. Speaker, it's people like me that grew up in the type of housing that those Conservatives want to insult. That's pretty ironic, given that, despite not getting re-elected, Mr. Speaker, Pierre Poilievre continues to live in taxpayer-funded government housing.
The Honourable Member for Calgary-Crowfoot.
Mr. Speaker, under the Liberals, we've become a country with two kinds of families, those that already own real estate and those that likely never will. But media reports that the housing minister owns real estate worth millions of dollars while he tells Canadians who can't afford a home that prices must not fall. Will this minister and former mayor of one of the most unaffordable places on earth admit that his government spent a decade driving up housing prices and apologize to Canadians for crushing their dreams of home ownership?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, this minister has stood up and articulated and represents policies that we debated in an election campaign that will create hundreds of thousands of new homes for Canadians. In the meantime, he will, of course, be in compliance with the very strict ethics code and regulations that we all live under in this House of Commons, and doubting the contrary is frankly unseemly on the part of the member.
The Honourable Member for Calgary-Crowfoot.
Well, Mr. Speaker, after 10 years of driving prices up, housing supply has never been worse. According to CMHC, housing starts are down 10% in Vancouver, down 58% in Toronto, down 51% in Hamilton, and down 71% in London. And all these cities receive funding under the Liberals' so-called Housing Accelerator Fund, and their housing starts are falling. Why is this minister protecting real estate investors instead of giving hope to millions of Canadians locked out of home ownership by this government?
The Honourable Minister of Housing and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, the member needs to check the facts. The housing starts across Canada are up almost 280,000 apace this year, which is almost record level. Mr. Speaker, we've been building at strong pace this year and last. We're seeing unprecedented levels of rental housing being constructed for the first time in decades. Yep. This government is delivering, and we will take it farther. We will double the rate. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Battleford's Lloydminster Meadow.
Mr. Speaker, the housing minister is part of the problem. He said that housing prices do not need to come down. And now we know why. He has $10 million real estate portfolio, including 3, not 1, 2, but 3 luxury properties. Housing costs have doubled under these Liberals, putting home ownership out of reach for more and more Canadians. How can he sit in his Vancouver penthouse and tell young Canadians that are priced out of the market that prices don't need to come down?
Honourable Secretary of State for Sport.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. There's an old saying about people in glass houses. Well, a lot of those Conservative members also have quite a few investment properties. They rent out their units, Mr. Speaker. But another thing, Mr. Speaker, I just want to reiterate that their leader, Pierre Poilievre, didn't get re-elected, and he continues to live in taxpayer-funded government housing. What's clear, Mr. Speaker, is any time those Conservatives have an opportunity to support lower-income or vulnerable families and their access to truly affordable housing, they vote against every single measure.